When I say I wish I fought harder instead of letting go, I'm not trying to sound dramatic or deep for the sake of it. I'm just telling the truth the way it shows up at 2 a.m. Unfiltered and kinda brutal, because this story lives in regret, not romance, and it starts with how easy it felt at the time to convince myself that walking away was mature, that choosing peace over conflict meant I was grown, evolved, healed, when really I was just tired and scared and didn't want to risk losing with my whole chest. Back then, things were messy between us, not explosive, not toxic in the obvious movie scene way, just quietly breaking, like cracks you ignore in a wall because a house is still standing. And every time something went wrong, I told myself love shouldn't be this hard, that if it was meant to work it wouldn't feel like constant effort. And yeah, that sounds smart until you realize anything worth keeping actually asks something from you. They asked me to stay, not in words always, but in tone, in pauses, in the way they waited for me to say something real. And I kept choosing silence because silence felt safer than saying the wrong thing, safer than admitting I was afraid of failing them, afraid of not being enough, afraid that even if I fought, it still might not work. So instead of throwing punches for us, I slowly lowered my hands and called it acceptance, called it letting go with grace, like I was doing us both a favor. The wild part is how calm everything looked on the outside, how people told me I handled it well, how I nodded along like yeah, I'm good, this is for the best, while inside I was stacking all the things I never said, never tried, never fixed, telling myself I'd be fine once time passed. Except time doesn't erase what you didn't do, it just gives it room to get louder. I remember the exact moment I chose not to fight, not some big dramatic goodbye, but a regular moment, a regular argument, where they looked at me like they were waiting for me to choose them out loud, and I didn't. I shrugged, I softened my voice, I said maybe this is it, and the relief I felt in that second still makes me sick, because relief shouldn't come from giving up on someone you love. After that, life moved on like it always does. Days filled up, routines took over, their names stopped popping up on my screen, and I told myself I was healing, but healing felt a lot like numbing, because once the distractions wore off, the truth showed up heavy, that I didn't lose them because I tried and failed, I lost them because I quit before the fight even started, and that kind of loss hits different, because there's no villain, no big reason, just you, standing there with your hands in your pockets, realizing you could have done more and chose not to. I replay conversations like deleted scenes, imagining versions of me who spoke up, who stayed, who said I'm scared but I'm here, who didn't confuse calm with courage, and in those versions, maybe we still didn't make it, but at least I wouldn't be stuck wondering, wouldn't be carrying this quiet shame of knowing I abandoned something before it got a chance to survive. People love to say letting go is strength, and sometimes it is, but nobody talks enough about how fighting can be strength too, how choosing someone again when it's uncomfortable takes guts, how staying present when things aren't cute or easy is its own kind of bravery. And I didn't have that back then. I had logic, I had excuses, I had the ability to walk away without looking back, and now that skill feels less like power and more like a flaw. The worst moments are the random ones, laughing at something dumb and realizing they would have loved that joke, or hearing a song we used to play on repeat and feeling that tight pull in my chest, not because I miss them exactly, but because I miss a version of me who still believed fighting was worth a risk, the version of me who hadn't learned how to leave so cleanly. I don't romanticize us anymore. I see the flaws clearly now, theirs and mine, but clarity doesn't cancel regret, it just sharpens it, because I can finally admit the truth without lying to myself, that I wasn't protecting my peace, I was protecting my ego, protecting myself from rejection, from trying my hardest and still coming up short, and instead of risking that pain, I chose a slow burn of what if, which turns out